Hi, this is Trevor Conquergood. Welcome to this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. And our topic for this week is about the cross stitch wizard. And so if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and make my workspace larger. And the tool that we want to learn about is up here under the wizard hat. It's actually a series of wizards. And the first one says the cross stitch wizard. And so to get started, we just click on cross stitch wizard. And it's sort of a series of steps that you go through to help you create the design. And I guess the first one is to select an image, and you can click here to select an image from your computer, any, folder, any image kind of thing. If I select the little dragonfly and say open, then that will be the image. And so if I say next, it shows me the dragonfly. And now we're kind of working within the program itself. And the first sort of parameter is the size. And mine's coming up in millimeters right now, and everything's in millimeters. If that bugs you, just cancel. Come on up to your ruler, right click, and change it to inches. Then start again. Wizard, cross stitch wizard. If I click select image, I can select that image. And when I say next, now everything's in inches. So now I can see that it's set for just under 2 inches. It's really 1.5 inches, 1.49. It's set for 18 crosses per inch, and you can control that 19, 20, whatever number you want. For each cross, it's going to do 2 repeats. I could do that, 1, 2, 3, or 4 repeats for each cross. And there's currently 0 overlap between the crosses. If you want to expand the crosses and make them have a small overlap, you could increase that number kind of thing. But these are parameters that you can adjust quickly and easily. And when you say next, it kind of shows you the colors. It says this is how many colors. And I'm sure that if you look at the JPEG, there's more than just 3 shades of blue. And so it's simplifying and it's seeing kind of like similar colors. And so you can add or remove colors from here, delete, reset. But when you're happy with the colors, then you would choose next. And now it kind of shows you, oh, okay, so that's not quite what I had in mind. It's not very many crosses. I was hoping for something a little bit more detailed. So what would my options be? I mean, I can, if I go next, it kind of shows me what it's going to look like. And it's kind of like my last chance to, to choose, kind of like to individually stitch a color or not. But if I was unhappy with any of my choices, I have a back. You can go back through the steps, right to the beginning again, and then forward through the steps. And so you can adjust if you're like, well, it's not, it didn't look very good at 2 inches. I wonder if I make, or at 1.5 inches, what if I make it 2 inches or maybe even 3 inches, Then if I say next and next, oh, wow, that's much better kind of thing. Now I can see that there's a lot more crosses because I made it 3 inches instead of 1.5 inches. So that helped a lot. If I go back and I'm, maybe 20 stitches per inch is too many, and I want to go to less, 19, 18, 17, 16, 14 is a very common number for cross stitching. And so if I turn that down, next, oh, back to kind of being a little bit. So the bigger the picture, the more the crosses across, and the smaller or larger the crosses, the more or less crosses across. And essentially, the bigger the picture and the smaller the crosses, the more sort of detail you can get. And the smaller the picture and the larger the crosses, the less detail that you can get. So you can continue to play with this and say, well, I really don't want to make 18 crosses per inch because they get so small, or actually I like them really small. And so I turn it up, to 18 per inch kind of thing, but I'm also going to make it 4 inches now and see what that looks like. And so each time you do, you get an entirely new kind of result. It is sensing white as a background color, so we're not actually going to get crosses for all the white. If you want it as a full square with the white, you would check to include it. And then when you say next, then all the colors are included. It knows that white is the background color. And at this point, if I say next, I get a visualization. Okay, that's what it's going to turn out like. And if you're fully happy with it, then you say finish and you've created your cool cross-stitch design with the white background included, and adjusted the size of the crosses to have a certain number per inch to give you the most, I guess, resolution possible. But at the beginning of the whole video, it was simply how to create a design using the cross-stitch wizard, and you clicked on the wizard to get started, and you select your image from what is a nice library of clip art, but you can use your own. Just browse to any folder, any graphic, any logo, say okay, and now it shows you the size, and you can interact with the number of crosses per inch and the size, making it bigger or smaller. It shows you the colors, shows you what it's going to turn out like. And if you like it, you can simply say finish, and you made another design. And so that is the cross stitch wizard, and how easily you can convert your embroidery into little cross stitch designs like that. So we hope you enjoyed this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. Until next week, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.